Hi everyone and welcome back. So the topic today is not a funny one, but it's still interesting to talk about, and that is the day we lost everything we owned. To give you a little context first, my boyfriend Jimmy and I, we both got our visa back in 2017, which allowed us to come to Canada and to work wherever we wanted. And so Jimmy got a job offer in a VFX studio in Montreal and had to go directly in October. I couldn't follow him yet because I still had some contracts to do in Strasbourg, so I only joined him a few days before Christmas. In the meantime, he had to look for an apartment for the both of us, so he went to visit a couple of them and he sent me some pictures of them, and we decided on one that was well located, that was not too expensive and had one closed bedroom. You have to know that in Montreal, especially where we were, near the Quartier Latin and near the Plateau, the buildings are very old. Some of them haven't been renovated in the last 50 years or more. And so was ours. Just the stairs to go to the apartment was already a challenge. Every step was of a different height, a different length, and they had holes in them, some were broken. Our apartment was on the second and last floor of a building that has around 6 units in total, and it was above a restaurant downstairs. I don't have any pictures of the bathroom or the kitchen because they were pretty ancient. But overall, the apartment was quite good. The lighting was good, the living room was quite spacious, and the whole flat was furnished, which was a big plus. Of course, there were some problems. For example, the windows were very thin, which wasn't the best considering how the winter is in Canada. We also had some problems with the heating and the fridge, and the landlord never responded for that. And once, there was a mouse in the kitchen. And I have to admit, I said to Jimmy that day, "We have to get out of here." Maybe I was overreacting because apparently it was something quite common in Montreal. Didn't know that. After the mouse thing, we did visit a couple of apartments, but then we just said, you know what, it's not urgent. You can still live in this one until we find something better, something that really suits us. It was the 11th of March on a Sunday morning around 6 o'clock, and we were awake because there were some noises outside. Nothing alarming, but it was weird because it was too early for the garbage trucks. It wasn't the right day for the garbage anyway. It was just too early for anything. So we woke up, we got out of bed, and we pushed back the curtains to see what was going on. There was only smoke and red and white flashes of light coming from a police car or from a fire truck, we thought. We decided to change, and I don't know why I was so chill. I didn't think it was serious, and I don't know, I really took my time. Meanwhile, Jimmy was in the living room and he came back quickly in the bedroom and he said to me with a little bit of panic in his voice, "There's smoke coming in the apartment. We have to go now." He ran directly to put his shoes and his jacket on. I just had the time to grab my cell phone on the nightstand, and I joined him in the corridor to put it like my winter jacket, my winter shoes. And as soon as he opened the door to get out, within 5 seconds, we couldn't see anything. The smoke was coming in so fast, so quickly. It was extremely thick, and it was pure panic. I remember Jimmy saying to me, "Vite, vite, vite, dépêche-toi," and you can't see, you can't breathe. All you can do is to walk forward blindly, and that's what we did actually. I was coughing, my eyes done. I was tripping down the stairs, the freaking stairs, because I didn't have the time to lace my shoes. And I remembered I was screaming his name at one point in the stairs because we lost touch, we lost contact, and I was so scared. I just screamed his name, and he said, "I'm right here, just go, go, go." And we raced down the stairs. We fell a couple of times, then got up, sort of, and finally we saw the door of the building, and in an instant we were out. That's when we saw so many fire trucks and firemen, and as soon as we were out, they entered the building to evacuate everybody. We stood at the other side of the street, and we didn't see any fire. We just saw a big black and gray smoke coming from the restaurant, and the first thing that came to my mind was, oh man, it's going to be tough removing all the smoke, all the smell of smoke from our furnitures, from our sofas, and from our beds, and from our clothes. I directly texted the guy who manages the orchestra I was playing with at the time, saying that I'm going to be late for rehearsal at noon. Yeah. The fireman got us a bus in which we could sit and drink water, coffee. We even had croissant from the nearest bakery, Mamie Clafouti. They're really good, by the way. All the people living in our building and the building just next to it were evacuated, and nobody was hurt, thankfully. As we waited, more fire trucks and more firemen were coming. We didn't have any more information. We just kept hoping that we could just go upstairs very quickly to retrieve our most important stuff, like our instruments, our papers, our visas, our wallets, even some clothes. And as we waited, my breathing got worse. I'm asthmatic. I inhaled a lot of smoke, and even as I was doing some breathing techniques to open up my lungs, I knew it wasn't going to be enough. And I also didn't want to go to the hospital because I've never been. I guess I was scared. But around noon, when we saw that the situation wasn't getting any better, we decided to go to the nearest emergency room. So we got off the bus and we went to ask the nearest fireman if he had any more information for us. And he said, the building is collapsing from the inside, and now even the firemen couldn't go in because it was too unstable and dangerous. My mind wasn't processing at all what he was saying. I guess I was in total denial. But I just kept asking, wait, our stuff are right there. We can still see them from the window. We just need to go up and to grab them, and then we're out. We just need that. He said, no, I'm sorry, but everything you have in there, consider them gone. It was only then that I realized that I lost my violin, which was the most precious thing in the apartment that I wanted to save, and there was nothing else I could do. So I cried. I cried. The realization that I won't be able to play on it, that I won't be able to touch it again, it was hard. It was hard because I I've had this violin for almost 15 years and we've been through so much together, and I was angry, I was sad, very sad. My poor Caesar. I called him Caesar because of his predecessor and because it's a cool name. In the end, everything that we owned was everything that we had on us. The clothes we wore, Jimmy had his ID, an expired ID, but still he had his debit card. Thank goodness, because it really helped us in the next few days. I had my phone. It was the only thing that I took. I didn't even take my glasses. Like for 3 weeks afterwards, I couldn't see well. My phone and my glasses were just next to each other on the nightstand, and I just took my phone. But there were more urgent matters. I had to go to the hospital because my breathing got even worse. I stayed there for an hour and a half, just getting medication. It was magical for my lungs. After that, we decided to go back to see if anything has changed, and it hasn't. In total, there were 125 firemen trying to extinguish a fire that came in the basement of the restaurant. And because it was so difficult for them to go near it, it took them 48 hours to kill the fire. The cause of the fire is unknown, and the building was to be demolished. We are very, very, very lucky to have our friends here who helped us with clothes, with accommodations, and our families didn't waste a second, and they sent us a package with all of our old clothes that we didn't take with us, and some other helpful stuff also, like my old glasses. Yay, could see again. We are lucky to be healthy, we are lucky to be alive, we are lucky to have people surrounding us and helping us. Like, I lost my violin, I lost my dearest César, but after a week, 2 friends lent me their violin, well, one of their violins. A luthier lent me one also, and at the end I had like 3 violins in just 2 hands. It was insane. People from my orchestra and from the choir, people that I hardly or that I didn't even know back then, they gave me so much stuff. Like, they gave me linens and towels and hygiene stuff and foods even. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was so overwhelmed by the compassion and by the kindness of people. It was very frustrating at first. The building where we lived just stood there for 2 years. And if you are standing on the other side of the street and you look up on the 2nd floor, you could still see our bed frame. And we knew that all of our belongings are still lying there. Passing in front of the building and imagining our stuff right there and all the things that we could have done or that we could do, it wasn't really helping us on our mental health. So you just have to let it go, and that's what we did. That's the only solution. This episode changed us in many ways, in every way actually. What is meaningful, what is important in life, and of course it has strengthened my relationship with Jimmy more than ever. I'm so grateful that I was here for him and he was there for me. I'm very glad that we were in this together, as traumatizing as it could have been. That's it for this video. As you can see, even when that happened, we still love Montreal, we still love this city and its people, and we are so lucky to have our friends and our families who helped us in so many ways. and we are so grateful to be alive and to be healthy and to live our lives, I guess. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!